Hours after the shutdown of the US government, US President Donald Trump and Vice President JD Vance are now talking of likely layoffs within the US government. Talking to reporters at the Oval Office, Trump said that the US government would be laying off a lot of people that are going to be very affected.
Mr. President, as we inch closer to a government shutdown this morning, you said you might do a lot of layoffs. If DOGE is already reducing the federal workforce, why is it necessary to link more federal jobs cut to a shutdown?
Well, the Democrats want to shut it down, and so when you shut it down, you have to do layoffs. So we'd be laying off a lot of people that are going to be very affected.
Interestingly, hours after his boss warned of layoffs, US Vice President JD Vance also echoed the same line and blamed the Democrats for likely layoffs.
Yesterday, President Trump said, as a result of the shutdown, we'll be laying off a lot of people that are going to be very affected, and the Democrats, they are going to be Democrats. Has the administration asked agencies to target federal workers who they believe to be Democrats in these reductions of forces?
We're not targeting federal agencies based on politics. We're targeting the people's government so that as much as possible of the essential services can continue to function. That is the question the president has asked the entire government, is fundamentally, okay, we're in a shutdown. That causes some problems. The troops aren't getting paid. There's nothing that we can do about that while the government is shut down. But there are essential services that we want to make sure as much as possible they still continue to function. That is the principle that's driving us forward during this shutdown. It's going to continue to be the principle that drives us forward. But let's be honest. If this thing drags on for another few days or God forbid another few weeks, we are going to have to lay people off. We're going to have to save money in some places so the essential services don't get turned off in other places. That is the reality of the government shutdown that Chuck Schumer and the Democrats have foisted upon the administration.
On October 1, 2025, the US government officially shut down as an impasse continued between the Democrats and the ruling Republicans over spending bills. As a part of the shutdown, the US government will operate essential services. Thousands of federal workers could be furloughed or required to work without pay. Some services pause, others continue. Primarily, essential services remain. How long will the US government shutdown continue? Well, JD Vance believes that the shutdown may not continue for long.
You guys say illegal immigrants are getting taxpayer-funded health care. Democrats say you're lying. That makes it feel like it could be a really long shutdown. Is this going to be a long shutdown?
You know, I don't know. I can't predict what congressional Democrats are going to do. But I actually don't think it's going to be that long of a shutdown. This is a pure guess from the Vice President of the United States because I think you already saw some evidence that moderate Democrats are cracking a little bit. They understand the fundamental illogic of this.
It's important to note that the last and the longest US government shutdown was also during Trump's first term. Spanning 35 days in 2018-2019, it was estimated to have cost the US $3 billion in GDP. And as uncertainty continues over the ongoing shutdown of the US government, once again, an S&P report has warned of its far-reaching effects on the US economy. According to the report, the shutdown could cut down on GDP growth by 0.1 to 0.2% for every week the government is closed.